Good morning, good morning.
Good morning, good morning.
It really is funny that every time this comes on, you know, the little show, how you smile like when you see the little Jasmine princess and stuff.
I love being Jasmine. And the music is just like, eh.
Good job, Adam.
That was good.
See, I'm not cranky.
Even though it was a little quirky for me, I'll admit it, but hey, you know what you're doing.
I like the wink too. Did she really wink or did you add in the eye?
That's movie magic.
Movie magic. Movie magic. Cool, cool.
That was very cute, you guys. Loved it.
Well, thank
yay.
you. Well, thank you. Well, thank you. All right, so
You're welcome.
we're going to keep rolling right into it. Ready? So how about we get a little caught up in where we're at? Because I know that I already see a couple people that are not familiar with, have not been on before.
Yes.
So basically, where we were at was, you know, the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. By the way, have you been using it at all?
Yeah.
Not as much as you were at the beginning?
You know, I do use it. Like today, I use it. I'm like, but I don't need to get out of bed right now. I literally have 5 more minutes.
The entire, well, had the alarm gone off?
No.
Okay. Because today is all about the morning. It's all about your morning routine, and it's all about like the most successful morning routine you can have and stuff like that.
Okay.
But so again, just to get a quick catch up, you know, it's just about how we have to reset our minds again, and we're going to move through this quickly. But how we have to reset our minds to kind of snap it and jar it into a place where we break our bad habits, where we don't settle, where we don't choose what's easy. You know, where we're making sure that the decisions that we make are in line with our long-term goals, our long-term business plans, our long-term life plans, all that sort of stuff. So that's the quick catch-up.
I love it. I love it. I'm ready.
So basically, today is a little bit different, and it says if you've ever wondered, you know, why it's so hard to make yourself do things that you know will solve problems and improve your life, the answer is simple, and it is your feelings. So we make decisions based on our feelings over making decisions for what is best for us in terms of the things we want to accomplish in our life. So today's battle is against your feelings. All right, so you got to smash those feelings, bury them down deep.
Ouch.
All right, and get rid of them. So today is about that because it says, you know, almost every single decision is generally like business-wise, we think it's made with logic, right? You think like, oh, that's made with logic. Not our hearts. And not based on our goals and dreams, but it really is on our feelings. And it really isn't about where we want to go or what we want to do, because when we think with feelings, we automatically drop the whole goals and business plans and all that stuff, because feelings, according to this, are what's comfortable now at this second. And so really it says that kind of like success comes down to breaking away from those feelings and starting to focus back on logic is really, and on what's the smart thing for you to do to accomplish the things that you do. So we choose, and basically, there's a whole study that they talk about, that we choose decisions on what feels good for us now and feels easier rather than what's in the long run. So like when you were laying in bed today and you were like, I don't have to get up, I have 5 more minutes. It's easier to lay there for 5 more minutes, and you were allowed to because your alarm didn't go off, so I'm not going to give you a hard time.
Okay, thanks.
All right, so you're okay.
Thanks.
You're okay. But it's here's the sad part. And this is a woman that wrote this, so
yeah, totes. And that's
feelings are the problem. The woman said that feelings are the problem.
But is she a man, really? Like, is she like a woman man? You know, like, is she more a Y chromosome person?
Yeah, she does. If you watch her TED Talk and stuff, she's definitely a different bird. The way she thinks. But, you know, I don't know if it's a man or woman thing, but I can tell you she's very organized in her thoughts. So,
well, I'm not.
So
proceed on.
So we have to beat our feelings, okay? And so today is about how to do that. And if our feelings, according to this, make our decisions 95% of the time, then we are feeling machines that think, not thinking machines that feel. So we're feeling machines that try to think and not thinking machines that feel. And boy, feelings, it basically is pointing out feelings to be the enemy. I know. So I've always been saying that. That's a man comment, I guess, huh?
I don't know.
Who knows? So
are we allowed to say that?
I don't
know anymore.
Is that inappropriate? Are we allowed to talk about gender things?
I don't think so.
No gender stuff? All right, no more gender
apologize.
stuff. You started it.
I apologize. I don't even know what's right.
I don't know. You need to watch more TV and news and stuff like that, and then they'll tell you what's right.
Okay.
All right, so there's a guy named Dr. Dimaggio.
Okay, Dr. Dimaggio.
And Dr. Dimaggio said that if there were not feelings and logic ruled, how different the world would be, right? We would weigh what we should do against the pros and cons of every decision that we make and look down the road and say, is this where it's going to take me to the business goals I have, the personal goals I have, the financial goals I have, all that sort of stuff. And I can't help, because I'm such a nerd, to think of Spock.
Oh, okay.
You know, and like Star Trek, where if you live your life in a way of logic and eliminate all emotions, you become a more rational, more intelligent person, right?
I am so illogical that this is just like, you're like speaking a foreign language to me.
I know. You really are all about feelings.
I'm trying so hard. I'm like, okay, okay. I'm going to get this, though.
But at the same time, like, I mean, I don't want to go all relationship on it, but, you know, there are people that are a little bit more logical than other people, and there are people that have more feelings than other people. And I think you put them together and you get yourself a potent little combo.
Yes.
Because you bring in one piece over here, and then you bring in another piece over here, and then when you work together, you can do it. But I don't think
Yin and yang.
But it's not really talking about like feelings in that way as much as it's talking about hitting the snooze button. I don't feel like getting up right now.
Okay.
I don't feel like, I feel like eating that donut right now.
Yeah, okay.
I feel like having an In-N-Out cheeseburger.
Oh.
I feel like, you know, having 4 cocktails tonight.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So.
Okay,
So,
okay. Instead of being logical, that my goal
Right.
is I need to get up in the morning and I need to do this listing presentation and I need to be on track.
Correct.
So
And-
I should not have those cocktails.
But I feel like, yeah. So
Okay,
every
okay.
decision that we have to make, we subconsciously, and this is, it does say that we do subconsciously tally the pros and cons. So in our mind,
Okay.
even though it's a nanosecond, like when I ask you, do you want a cup of coffee? You're weighing the pros and cons, and you're saying right now, you said that it puts you in a bad mood and it gives you anxieties and stuff like that, so you don't do it.
Yeah.
So that is you balancing out the pros and cons really quickly. So we're still kind of doing it, but the eventual decision is going to be, what do I feel like? Do I feel like having a cup of coffee?
So speaking of anxiety,
Yes.
somebody doesn't wear his Apple Watch anymore because it was giving him anxiety.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Well, basically, I was all excited to get my Apple Watch.
Yeah, you were.
And we're going to talk a little bit more about this. So, you know, every single text that come through, I was immediately responding. Every single email that would come through, it would ding. Every time somebody would come through and ring at my house, it would come through. So what was happening is like I was really up on everything that was happening, but it started to, I think it started to undermine my sanity.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I don't know if I was to look back. I mean, we have a lot of people in the company, and you know, and then you mix in your friends and the rest of your life, and I basically could never get anything done because my watch was ding, 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 ding all day long. That on top of some other stuff that I personally had going on, the mix of the two sent me to a dark place.
Yeah.
And it was like last week that I decided it is a handcuff, Duffy. That's exactly what that watch is. And when I got rid of that watch last week, have you noticed how I've calmed down?
You have.
Because it was driving me insane. Every single phone conversation I was on, I was getting one after another, after another, after another. And finally, I just decided I can't do it. And you know what? It's okay to not be able to get back to your phone right away.
Yeah,
You don't
should be able
have
to
to
go to
get-
the bathroom
Yes.
without your phone.
Yeah, and so for me, it was really, really great. And like I said, that coupled with some other stuff I had going on buried me. And so
Yeah.
I started out by saying I'm not going to wear my Apple Watch on the weekends because if you and I were out on a date
Yeah.
and all of a sudden I keep looking at my watch,
That's worse than looking at your phone.
how does that? And they're like, oh, do you have to be somewhere? I
Yeah.
hear that all the time.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, no, it's a text or whatever. So, but it's no different than taking my time away from you and not being able to focus on you. So
That's so true.
So I had to get rid of that, and it kind of ties into the conversations that we had about the Eat That Frog book, where it said, for you to be efficient and effective, you need to turn off your notifications on your computer. You need to make sure that you're not constantly receiving texts or emails or whatever, because it just distracts you from getting anything done. And it was just nonstop. So I know I'm beating it up, but
You know what, Chuck? Almost every single person I know that got an Apple Watch doesn't wear it anymore.
really,
Outside of a couple people in the company, but I'd say 75% of them don't.
really.
See, you have to be uncool like me.
And me?
Yeah, no one wants to text me, so I love my Apple Watch.
No, because I got to close my rings. I got to close my rings. It's
Yeah.
all about closing my rings.
Yeah, I understand that. So, but I understand, like, if I really had a lot going on, I could see myself wearing it. Yeah, Sue says you just have to control it, and that's true.
And
But,
yeah, I do put it on Do Not Disturb.
yeah, but then that kind of defeats the purpose.
No, because I got to close my rings.
What do you mean your rings?
It's about how, like, I
Oh.
stood for 12 hours. I
You're tracking
burned
your
my
fitness.
calories.
You're tracking your fitness. Yeah,
I'm
I get
a
that.
nerd that way.
I get that.
But no, but I don't have as many people texting me as you do.
Yeah. I mean, but it is cool that you can get back to your clients so quick. But
Yeah.
you're just married to it. So
No, I'm proud of you.
thank you. Feel much better.
Good.
I feel much better. So, but back to feelings.
Yes.
It says that really there is no, most of our decisions are based on that. So it's not, what do I want to eat right now? What it really means is, what do I feel like eating? The next thing might be, should I get up? Well, do I really feel like getting up? You know, and the bottom line are your feelings make the decisions before you even realize what happened. And change is hard. We know what we should do, but our feelings about doing it makes the decisions for us. And that's the problem is the decisions are battling against our life plans and where we want to go and what we want to do. Feelings are literally undermining it, according to her. So the 5-second rule, you know, is about how to fight the battle against your feelings, because the feelings are not always the most healthy for your long-term goals. So that's really what these next few chapters are about. So we have to decide how to separate what you feel from the actions we need to take. Okay. So the moment you feel too tired, I feel tired, and you decide not to go to the gym. But 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, you can make yourself go.
Yeah.
Attacking your to-do list. You know what? I'm really tired. I don't know if I want to get to that. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You can force yourself to start working on it. One of the things that was a big discussion in here is people that just don't feel worthy about speaking up when they have an idea. You don't have that problem anymore in staff meetings and stuff, but you know, you just say it the way it is. But you know what I'm talking about. But you know, I don't feel worthy, and so I decide not to tell people what I really think.
Yeah, that's true.
But 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, you can make yourself say it.
True.
You're laughing because you know what I'm talking about.
I know.
Next thing you know, we have staff meetings now, and all of us, Margaret and everybody, we're all just sitting in the back as she just stands up and talks for 2 hours and yells at everybody. We don't know what happened.
That's not true.
But anyways, and then you come out and you're still mad when you come back to the office.
I know.
I'm like, what's going on? Why are you so upset? All right. So again, you're not battling with your ability to stick to a diet. You're not battling, you know, with whether you can execute a business plan or repair a broken marriage or rebuild your life or hit your sales goal or win over that certain client. You're battling with your feelings about doing it.
Yeah.
That's really what it is. So
I will accept that.
You know, and it kind of talks a little bit more about that. You know, you can't control how you feel, unfortunately, and that's true. And I can tell you that from a personal thing over the last month. I cannot control how I feel, but you can control how you choose to act, you know, based on how you feel, which is a real battle.
Yeah.
Don't you think that's a battle? That's like a psychological. Maybe that's just where I'm at, but how you feel and still acting in the right way is tough.
Well, think about when you're raising your kids. You know, that's all. You can feel whatever you want to feel, but you can't treat others poorly. You know, you can feel whatever you feel, but you can't. Oh, but maybe that was just my parents. But you can't show anyone how you feel.
Right. So it says, you know, why do athletes achieve so much?
Oh, why do they?
Why did Carl Lewis win the Olympics every year in the long jump and the 100 and all that sort of stuff? And it's talent and it's practice, of course. But they can separate their emotions and their feelings and push their bodies and mouths to move faster. So you know, I mean, I can tell you, I ran track, and you know, so did Wysocki and a bunch of different people, and it's not necessarily fun to go out and practice and run, you know, miles and miles and miles around a track, but the ultimate athlete can do that because they can overcome the feeling of not wanting to do that and just go out and do it. And it went back to the Nike thing of just do it. And how like that, how important that is to overcome those feelings. You know, just do it means screw your feelings and overdo it. I mean, and just do it. Anybody have any comments on any of this stuff so far? If you do, feel free to jump on in. There was a post, and you know, this book is full of posts and people that have done things and you know made changes in their lives and lost hundreds of pounds and done all that. But there was a post which I thought was interesting from Miranda. I don't know who that's the last name. Miranda. They're the ones that wrote Hamilton. Smash It, Hamilton.
Yeah.
And they
I
said,
almost said his name.
I've had it's like LaFleur Hamilton or LaFleur Miranda or something. I don't know. But I have a hard time. And this quote he put on social media. He said, "I have a hard time finding the balance between not beating myself up when it doesn't happen as fast as I'd like it to, and not wasting time while I'm waiting for it to happen." So he posted that in a conversation with his wife online to Lynn Manuel. That's it. That's right, Deanna. I have a hard time finding the balance between not beating myself up when it doesn't happen as fast as I'd like it to, and not wasting time while I wait for it to happen.
Sounds like someone else I know.
I know, right? So, you know, when he had self-doubt, and this was really funny, when he went to write that thing, he used this. And he said when he had self-doubt and when he struggled, he would write, he would say, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, suck it up and get back to your piano.
Suck it up.
It was, get back to your piano. That's the quote. So he literally used the 5-second rule to finish Hamilton.
Nice.
So that's how much juice this has.
Yeah.
You know, and there's all kinds of stories about famous people that are using this in their lives. So
why do I care so much about famous people?
I don't know. You're a groupie.
I know.
You would have been a good groupie. Have you seen Almost Famous? I bet you loved it.
Yes, I would have been. What's her name? Penny, whatever.
Penny Lane?
Yeah.
Yeah. So why are you laughing?
And roller skates.
And roller
been
shades.
great.
So get back to your piano is
Yeah,
you know,
that's
5, 4, 3,
great.
2, 1. Get back to your piano. And again, we've already talked about this, but the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 is the rule that creates that immediate behavior change. And
My boys used that this last weekend.
nice.
It can be used for fun stuff too. They did 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and my nephew jumped off the boat.
Yeah.
So,
That's exactly that. I mean,
so it can be used for fun too.
it's a great way to peer pressure people, Brenda.
Yeah.
You know, like you can almost get anything you want. Like, hey, Adam, you want to get me a cup of coffee, dude? This is getting a little cold. Ready?
No.
5,
Oh, God.
4,
All right.
3,
Yeah.
2. No, I know. But it does work.
Yeah,
You know what? I'm going to
totally.
try it on you later and see if it works.
Oh, God.
I'm going to see what I'm going to get you today.
Okay.
But yeah, it's one that needs to, but again, so we have to align that 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 when we make those decisions, align them with our goals and commitments.
Okay.
So if we were to spend the business day, which I've seen you do multiple times, and now
Mm-hmm.
it's maybe getting a little bit less because maybe it's wearing off on us, but I have seen you multiple times say, I'm going to do this right now, and you're
Mm-hmm.
sitting at your desk, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And the nice part about it is when you're doing it, it's aligned with your business goals and commitments.
Yes.
So
Yes.
you are doing it.
Yes.
It basically just says that the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, we just have to nudge our mind in a positive direction, you know, and this actually says more than a nudge. You got to jar it. You got to kick its ass.
It's true. Jar it.
You gotta
have
slap
to
it.
jar your whole brain to
You
be
do.
different.
You do. So you got to break through
I
those
like it.
habits, push
I
through
like
those
it.
feelings, and replace the destructive. And another thing it talked about is replacing destructive habits with habits of courage. You know, and I think everybody has some destructive habits,
Yes, if they don't, they're liars.
whether it's eating or booze or you know
lying or
something.
social media. Why did I look at you? I didn't mean to.
I have a lot of destructive habits.
Yeah, that's why.
Well, forcing ourselves out of our comfort zone.
Yeah.
Too, you know what I mean? So here's where it starts to get good. Okay, like
Okay.
the beginning was a little bit slow for me. These couple chapters, but then it starts to get good. It's
Okay.
how to start actually physically using the rule in the right way.
Okay.
Now we've been just throwing it out and been using it at the office, and it's
Yeah,
been great.
just
but,
for fun.
But whether you think you, and this starts out with this quote, which you've heard a million times, Henry
Mm-hmm.
Ford. Whether you think you can or you can't, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
Heard that a million times. But it begins, like if you wanted to institute this book, and if you wanted to be doing what the people that wrote Hamilton and like all these famous people that lost
Mm-hmm.
hundreds of pounds and become top business people and become top athletes, and you know, then here's how you need to do it. It starts with one thing. It starts with the wake-up challenge.
Okay.
So it just starts there. So if you want to
All
do
right.
this,
Gotta write
you
this
have
down.
to set a time that you want to get up,
Mm-hmm.
never hit snooze, never lay there, and just get up. So even if you got up 5 minutes early today, if you're up, it would kind of almost say get up. But even though you had that extra 5 minutes, I'm not going to give you a hard time on
Okay.
that. But set a time, no snooze, no laying there. And it basically starts out. Do you remember that book we did by that major, or I think it was a colonel that talked about make your bed, and how he talked about by starting out your day by making your bed, and then he went through the whole thing of like being a Marine and how much power is in that
Right.
to do that, to set out your day properly. So that's what he means by the wake up. She means by the wake up challenge. So if you can begin by changing your morning routine, you can change anything.
I really want to know who are bed makers in the morning. Chuck's a bed maker. Amelia, Isabel, Sonia, Brian. Well, what about all of us who don't make their bed? I'm just going to get back into it. Why am I going to waste my time?
What?
Why am I going to waste my time?
You're one of those? See, that would
Yes.
drive me crazy. I don't think we could ever be together.
I know.
Jeremy, you're fine. Just so you know. You
He
don't.
puts up with a lot of craziness.
Wow. Okay. All right.
Oh, I think Janie has a thought. Janie, did you have a thought? Janie Kristofi? No? I want to. You look like you have an
I
idea.
just raised my hand as all, Jenny.
Okay, I love it. Thanks everyone.
Oh,
for
I'm a bed mate. I make my bed too.
Of course you are. You know, wait. Let's look at. Let's look at here.
Oh,
Let's
you're
see.
going to hurt my feelings.
Sonia, do you make your bed every day?
She said yes.
Absolutely.
All right. So let's keep looking here, Jenny, at some of these other people.
And if I'm in the corner crying in fetal position, how are y'all going to feel about that?
Mike Duffy, do you make your bed every day? Can you see him? That's all right.
Sorry. No.
Well, there you go.
But my beautiful wife does.
Ah.
That's what I need.
Ah.
Then I don't have to do anymore. All right.
Okay, so some people are with me. Brenda is with me. Jessica's with me.
Well, it's you know, basically
We
according
do
to that.
other things every day that make ourselves
But according to
clean
that
and
book, it's the number one
calm.
thing you could do.
Okay, are we going to try it, ladies? I don't know. I'll text you later.
That's a maybe. All right. So number 3, the activation energy. Do you remember the talk about activation energy? So here's the big thing. Activation energy is, and the chemist, it's from chemistry.
Okay.
And it says that it takes an amount of energy, a minimal amount of energy required to begin a chemical reaction. So
Okay.
any chemical reaction starts with some form of energy.
Okay.
So, and the kicker is, it takes more energy to get things started than to keep it going.
Yes.
So, when this is a perfect example, like when you're kicking a dirt bike, you kick and you kick and you kick and it finally starts and then it's easier. It's running, it's great. So it just talks about the importance of activation energy in whether it's making your bed, whether it's, starting to call your clients. It's that first initial call my clients, that's the hardest part.
Okay.
Or when you're calling recruits, it's that initial picking up the phone. Hey, Adam, how are you? As opposed to once you're in the groove and calling people, then it's easier because the system is moving. So when I talk about activation energy, it's just getting that started.
Love it.
So getting up, getting up the minute that alarm goes off, and according to this psychologically, there's a lot of psychological studies in here, is that it gives you a much more positive outlook on the day, as opposed to somebody that kind of lays there and sleeps in. That I think they called it like sleep inertia, where if you fall back asleep, you spend the next 3-4 hours being groggy because you're forcing yourself to go back to sleep.
I believe that 100%.
Whereas somebody who just pops up, their day's going, they're positive, they're feeling good, they're on their way.
That's so true.
Yes. So if you can't get out of bed, you'll never be able to pursue other challenges, is what it says, because it's not going to give you the right outlook. So here's how to set yourself up.
Okay.
Number one, set your alarm clock, and this is the actual practical things that it says.
I
you
love
need to do.
practicals.
Practical,
I'm a
real
checklist
things
girl.
for you to do. So number one, to begin.
Okay.
The first day that you're going to start this 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 program, you're going to set your alarm clock, and you're going to put it in.
I'm so sorry.
You're good. Having a cigarette. I'm kidding. You're going to begin by setting your alarm clock in another room, in your bathroom.
Okay.
So you're going to set your alarm clock in another room, and you're going to set it 30 minutes earlier than when you normally wake up. 30 minutes earlier. And she says the reason that she's doing that is because she wants it to feel hard. You okay? Can you mute her? She's going to have a coughing attack. Are you that upset about it?
Don't make me do things.
All right, fine. Don't make me do things. So to begin, she wants it to feel hard. So that's number one. Put your alarm clock in the other bathroom and set it 30 minutes earlier. At first, you'll hate it. But now, if you do get up that 30 minutes, perhaps you'll have the time to go for that walk, go for the workout, or go to the gym. It just launches your day in the right direction. It's kind of like the Reaganomics, the trickle-down effect.
Yeah.
Like, start here, and good things will happen all day long. So that's number one, putting it in the bathroom.
Just so you know, what I put on my alarm, like my 5 o'clock, I put like enjoy, like feel good. And so, like, I always wake up before my alarm anymore. It's
Really?
just, even no matter what time it is, 5 o'clock, 4:30.
Me too.
And that helps tremendously.
Me too. And then you just wait for it to go off and
I do.
enjoy that time just
I do.
spacing out.
Yeah.
So, there's amazing stories on the way people changed in the book. People changed their morning routines. And again, it's not just about waking up earlier or waking up. It's about shaking up your life. So even that, boom, I'm up, I'm going. Because it's almost like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go accomplish things and be positive and do it. So that's that. So the next section was how to become the most productive person you know. Okay?
Okay.
And it says that really to become productive, I thought this was really interesting. She said that to be productive, the first thing you have to do is get control of your destructive behaviors.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that you have them or that I have them, but I think we do.
Yeah.
It talked about, and see if any of these apply to any of you guys. Ready?
Okay.
Drugs,
Okay.
drinking, gambling. Here's a big one, binge watching TV
Oh, you
shows.
shut your mouth when you're talking to me.
So, but that's one of the things. How many of you guys out there have been up at 2 o'clock in the morning watching Breaking Bad? You know what I mean?
Okay, I would never do that.
On a Wednesday. Oh, I'll bet you a lot of these people have, because I probably have at some point. You know what I mean? But anyway,
Okay,
so.
if I wasn't married to Jeremy, you're right, I probably would have.
Right?
TikTok.
Yeah.
TikTok?
Oh, on TikTok, yeah.
So that being the case, there's 3 behavior changes that we have to focus on. And, and unfortunately, I'm moving along really fast today, by the way.
Oh, that's great. I love it.
Health, your physical
Okay.
health, productivity, and procrastination. Those are the big ones. So, and it basically, and I agree with this one, and I want you all to listen to this, because this is the one that really hit me the most in this, of the chapters I read today. Either you run the day, or the day runs you.
Oh, 100%, especially as realtors. I swear, that was the hardest thing.
I'm going to say that again. Either you run the day, or the day runs you. And I would say, lately, just because of where I've been at mentally, I can tell you that the days have been running me.
Yes.
And you come in and I'm reactive instead of proactive. And the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 allows you to be proactive. because it's really easy for all of us not having a boss.
Yeah.
It's really easy for all of us to just come in and do what you do, wander into your computer with no plan of the things you want to get done. And that's called the day running you. And we're never going to get anywhere when the day runs us. You know what I mean? Sonia, you got any comments on that? I mean, I'm sure you see that all the time.
Yeah,
You
I think
agree?
she's writing.
Oh, she's right. That means she's
yeah.
got something.
Uh-huh.
You know, what do you got, Sonia? Is she here?
She's trying.
Oh, you're muted. But
Sorry. Yeah, I was muted. It's fun stuff, but I do agree with being more proactive. The place I get in trouble is that when I wake up, I do lay there and I think about what's going on, what's happened, and what my day looks like. And I kind of pre-plan before I jump out of bed and make the bed and start the day. So I am one that does kind of hang around a little bit in the bed before I jump out. I don't know if
Well,
that's good or bad, but
according
You
to
know?
this, Sonia, according to this, and we're going to get to it in a minute, that is actually good. Because, you know, I remember when we talked about Eat That Frog, where it says, for every 1 minute of planning, it saves 10 minutes in your day. So if you do 10 minutes of planning, it's going to save 100 minutes in your day. You know what I mean? So really what you're doing is you're formulating your thoughts for the day and the things that you need to get done. And I think that's really good. And I like what John Hill just said. I don't know if you guys saw that. I just lost it. But
If you don't plan.
yeah, the one without a plan becomes subject to someone else's plan.
Yeah.
And,
Ouch.
And it's not just that hill. It's not the one that without a plan becomes subject to someone else's plan. It's also that sometimes, how about this? If you don't have a plan, no one's giving you any plan, and you never get shit done.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the scary one right there. You know?
Again, we look at Adam.
You do. What? Jeez.
I missed him this weekend.
Aw. So you know, either that you run the day. So number one, let's talk about health. And I know
Okay.
that this show is supposed to be about productivity and calling your leads and developing leads and keeping in contact and all that stuff. But health is important. And
Well, if you don't have health, you can't do your business.
so this is about improving your health. So
Okay.
and it's not just about thinking healthy. That's not going to make you healthier. You have to get around to taking action, of course. And it's funny because there's a ton of information out there, you know, on Google and diets and all that stuff. But it's never about the diet. It's about how you feel about the diet. And that's the scary thing. Like when you think, to me, like diet is a bad word. It's like you almost have to say it's a lifestyle. Because really, you can't really survive without it being a lifestyle.
No,
a diet
it's
means
so
it's going to
true.
come and go and you're going to fall right back apart.
It's so true.
So and here's another thing, most people generally do not want to work out. Like when you think about working out, you think about hyperventilating as you pedal.
Yeah.
Does that sound fun?
No, I know.
I mean, how many of you guys think about hyperventilating as you pedal, or
And you're sweating and crying and your knees hurt. and
Yeah,
you're like,
I mean,
got-
it's tough, you know. So, and how do you feel about being deprived of bread? You don't get any bread, Jenny.
yeah. That's
I mean,
not,
these are the negative thoughts that come into our head. I mean, I miss bread. I miss a sandwich and mayonnaise and like all that sort of stuff. You know what I mean? But you just can't have it, or you can
the
just
time,
very,
no.
very sparingly. You know. So,
That's
how
so
about
true.
those of you guys that are in CrossFit? How about the thought of a burpee? You want?
Ugh.
Who wants to do 50 burpees on the concrete?
I know.
You know, when you could just chill out on the couch, Jenny.
I know.
Just, what do you feel like doing? You want to go do burpees? Or you want to chill
But
out?
you know what? I can almost, where I'm at now, I can make myself work out, but I can't work out. I can't work out enough to get over the bad diet, you know?
Yeah. Well, that's the problem, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, at least you know what
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so it just goes back to the same things that apply to a business, but with our health. We just want to do the things that feel easy.
That we enjoy.
We
whether
just
it be,
want to do things,
Yeah.
whether it be zoning out and doing nothing and,
Yeah.
and you know, eating in front of the TV, you know, or whatever. But, you know, so here's where, you know, those feelings come into play. You have to stop thinking about how you feel, because your feelings don't matter for your long-term goal. And the only thing that matters is just what you do.
Yeah.
You know, so forcing, and that's part of the cool part about, like, and it's expensive, but it's part of having a trainer. When
Yeah.
somebody's waiting for you and you have to pay them regardless,
Yeah.
and whatever, you go. And so some of us have to just literally mind ninja the shit out of ourselves to
Right.
get us to do it.
Right.
And that's the power of a trainer. It's all they're doing is what you would normally do if you went to the gym, and you're paying them,
Yeah.
you know, $25, $30 just to make you do what you should be doing.
Yeah.
Because it's a way of tricking our brains.
Yeah.
You know? So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, get to the gym. You know,
Yeah.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, put down the donut and eat a grilled chicken breast.
Yeah.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, walk away from that bakery that's seducing you like a siren. You know what
Yeah.
I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So that's how you basically use it. And again, there's tons of pictures online. And I think about it, some of the agents in our company that, like, when you're doing, you know, what is that, camp transformations? And when you see them post their first picture, I'm here for my first day, or somebody that did the challenges, they had the recent challenges, you did it too, right? But it talks about the power of posting your challenges all the way along, because there will be those people that are supportive, but really it's a way of forcing your brain to make sure that you continue. Like, hey, I saw you posted that you were going to do that 30-day challenge. It's day 4 and you're not posting already. Did you already give up? What happened? So she does suggest, and there was one guy who had lost a couple hundred pounds, and he was on his 529th straight day of his commitments, of his health, and he was huge. And now he looks super fit. He just made that commitment. He's posted every single day for 529 and shown his progress. And I don't think it would bother anybody. I mean, do you?
Wow.
It'll make you jealous, and you get mad, and you're like, oh, who do they think they are? Look at them, but.
And that's all, and that's where you have to look in yourself. It's not, you should not be jealous. You should just need to be proud. We want everyone to do well.
Right.
And if you don't, then you're the problem, not them.
Ooh, look at you, getting all serious. Well, and it basically says, and I agree with this, when we live healthier lives, amazing things start to happen for us in our personal lives and in our professional lives. So that health, and whether it's the release of endorphins or whatever that may be, but it really does transfer over.
I think so too.
Another guy that I saw in here, he committed to doing 5,000 push-ups in 30 days. And so all he was
I tried to do the math and I couldn't do it.
I know.
I was like,
he's trying to do it all day. So, and I'm sure that there's probably people on this call that have done that posting. I mean, we've seen Becca and all kinds of people that have done it. And then, some girls have, some people, and there was a couple girls in here that did it, had said, number 1, I'm getting out of bed tomorrow when the alarm goes off. I'm going to post the minute I wake up.
Yeah.
I'm doing it. The alarm goes off, I'm doing it.
Because some people literally cannot do that.
Right.
It's like it's a control thing for them. They literally cannot get out of bed when they're supposed to.
Isn't that funny? So, and just kind of said, like, find what your healthy goal is, whether it's always wanted to run a marathon or something you really enjoy. Dream of being in a fitness contest, or, and basically, and it talked about something that's just a random thought, but somebody had a girl had a lump on her breast and she's just been ignoring it, and she 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 it with another friend that was reading the book and got it taken care of, and it ended up,
It
it's a good thing
bad.
she went in, so.
That's true. Think of it that way too. The stuff we don't want to do with the doctor or the dentist and all that
Correct.
stuff.
And then it just gets worse, and next thing you know, you're in a horrible situation. So exercise and health come down to one simple rule, just having to do it, just doing it.
Just do it again.
And I thought this was a great line. Go the extra mile in whatever you do, because it's never crowded.
That's good.
Go the extra mile, people, because it's never crowded.
That's funny.
There's a reason that 10% are at the top and the other 90% are down here of everything.
Yeah.
The 90-10 rule. So I thought that was pretty interesting.
That's fun.
Go the extra mile. The next section was on increasing your productivity.
Okay.
And productivity can be boiled down, and this is something we already know. We've done a lot of books and talked quite a bit about this, but productivity can be boiled down to one word: focus. Productivity can be boiled down to one word, and that is your focus, and that is your ability to manage distractions. Your ability to manage distractions.
So bad.
That's the first one based on productivity. And the
Okay.
second one is focusing on the big picture and not wasting your day on stupid stuff, which I know we're all guilty of. So the ability to manage distractions and focusing on the big picture and not wasting your day on stupid stuff. That's a big one. Any comments on that, Sonia, from the coaching world? Managing distractions and focusing on the big picture and not wasting your day on stupid stuff.
Absolutely. I think so many of us get tied down with doing the things that we want to do instead of the things that we really should be doing. And we get distracted with the phone. We get distracted with social media, and we're not really reaching out. And especially right now, there's so many basic things that every agent should be doing, and it's easy, and you're getting bogged down with so much other stuff. So you're not focusing on what's really going to make a difference in your business. You're taking care of all the other stuff that's going on in your world.
Letting the day run you.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right. And one of the things that it said, and you know what, we're starting to see themes in all these books, right? You can see the themes. One of the themes is, you just said it, Sonia, managing distractions, but it keeps coming back to this, notifications. Your notifications in your phones, guys, are a killer.
I think the only one you should have on really, though, is a text if you're a realtor. You have to pick up that. You have to respond to a text immediately.
I agree.
You do, especially in this climate. If you are not responding to the text, you are not going to get that house.
Right.
Your buyers are going to move on to another agent.
Right.
Your seller is going to be like, what, you don't care? And I know it's hard. but I mean, within 10 minutes, within 15 minutes, yes, there's times you're in an appointment, but I think the majority, if you are a majority of the time responding like most of our, I'd say top 50 agents are, you will be fine. It's the ones who make it so lackadaisical that like, oh, I'll get back to them when I can't get back to them.
Right.
Do you agree? That's the one that should be on?
I do. I do agree. And, it's focusing on the big picture, is kind of the opposite of, well, no, I think, yes, I'm going to disagree with you. And because the big picture is just getting all those distractions out of the way. I mean, it really, really is. I mean, it really is. And that's what I'm super guilty of. I'm super, super guilty of that. So again.
So how long do you think is okay? I don't know.
How long is it okay to
not respond to a client or another agent?
Well, I think
an hour is fine.
But the problem is, and here's what I'm sure a lot of you guys are thinking, if I turned off my notifications for Instagram and Facebook, which is one of the things that I think kills you, if somebody DMs you,
they do,
then you may not get that. So it's like it's almost a trap.
But sometimes if you don't get them over that, you really don't want them. Jen and I used to have this conversation. We wouldn't want them anyway if they can't respect our time that much. I guess I'm just saying an hour or two, you should be responding.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable. On a text, I mean, even if you text and say, I'll get back to you later.
Yes.
That's the best part about text.
That's totally, yes. You at least have to acknowledge it.
Right. And we talked about before, like when you're trying to get anything done, and this goes back to, like I said, why I got rid of that Apple Watch, is you have to realize that distractions are not good. And
agreed.
Any interruptions when you're trying to work on something that is important and taking you on your lifelong goal is a problem. So, checking emails can become an addiction too.
That's
checking
true.
your text can be an addiction. Checking your social media become an addiction. It really is like an addiction. And I'm sure a lot of you guys are seeing that. I mean, and it goes back to what we were saying. First thing people do when they wake up in the morning is check their stuff. And she's gonna be addressing that in a few minutes, but.
Checking stock prices constantly.
Oh,
is that what you do?
Yeah.
Oh, my
What's
Lord.
happening with Bitcoin? Yeah. And there are quite a few people doing
Saturday morning. It was awful. What happened?
Right? So, and there was and we really can't, a lot of us cannot apply to this, but there was a girl on here that deleted her Instagram. And after deleting it, it dawned on her how unimportant all of the stuff that she saw on Instagram was to her life.
Right.
And when these apps were on her phone, it was just an involuntary action to constantly be looking at it and pulling it up. And she just now never has the urge. Now, in real estate and in sales, like we all are, we have to engage our clients. If your client makes a post, you have a responsibility to even say something to them, like, what a cool cat. Or what this, or that, or whatever. So I don't think that applies to all of us, but that must be a very nice feeling for some of these people.
So I think what I think if we combine what we're saying, again, logic and feelings, if you put a time thing, like the Pomodoro, is that what that was?
Yeah, Pomodoro.
So an hour, then I'm going to respond to all my texts, I'm going to respond to all my DMs, and you keep it timed, maybe.
Yeah, no, I think so. I think that's good. But I mean, and there's always that downtime when you're going to pick up your phone and you're going to check your messages and all that sort of stuff. But it is what it is. So one of the other things that she talked about was the big picture focus, of course. And if you get up at 6 a.m., your peak thinking and productivity window is 6:30 to 9.
I
agree with
that. Yeah,
I think
totally.
that, and Sonia was saying she does it the minute she wakes up. She's already starting to plan out her day. And when you come in the morning, it's usually just a little bit slower. And a little bit less hectic than at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So here's the exact morning routine. You ready?
Yes. Oh,
Finally, we're there. Finally, we're to the exact morning routine of what she suggests to, be the writer of Hamilton, like we talked about, or the one that's lost 200 pounds or whatever. So number one, very simple. We talked about it before. Get up when the alarm rings, because how you get up is as important as how you sleep. I mentioned this before. Snooze causes major problems, including grogginess, sleep inertia, and destroys your potential habit of getting up on time. It destroys your day.
I believe it.
Okay, by laying there and hitting that. Her next thing is and again, remember, her alarm and her phone are both in her bathroom. She does not allow her phone to be next to her. Okay, so her alarm and her phone. And like you said, if only your ringer's on and your text's on, if you do get a call in the middle of the night because of an emergency, get up and answer it. You know what I mean? So number two is walking into the bathroom and turning off the alarm. So that's number two. So get up, walk into the bathroom. Again, these are very specific, right?
I love it.
Her alarm is not next to her bed, and neither is her phone. Number three, and this is where it ties in with Sonia, she brushes her teeth and focuses on the day ahead. So for her, she actually is planning out her big picture items as she's taking the 3 to 5 minutes and brushing her teeth. She said all she's thinking about is three things when she's brushing her teeth. What are my goals? What are my dreams? How am I going to grow my business today? So as she's brushing her teeth, that's what she does. So that's how she operates. Okay, so number one, wake up. Number two, walk to the bathroom. Number three, kind of do a little bit of mental planning, while you're brushing your teeth.
That.
Number four, she says, I get dressed. I make my bed.
Okay.
She walks into the kitchen and she pours a cup of coffee. So
she showers first.
Gets dressed.
She brushes her teeth.
She must shower the night before because she didn't say anything about a shower in here.
That's where she shaves her time.
That's where she
Shaves her time. She doesn't. She makes her bed because she shouldn't shower, shave.
Okay, but she wanted to make this clear though.
Okay.
She's already dressed. She's already making her bed or made her bed. She's already walked into the kitchen. She's already poured a cup of coffee. She still has not checked her phone. Okay, still to this moment, she still has not checked her phone. She said because the minute I check my phone, my focus and my day are over.
Okay.
The minute I check my phone, my focus and my day are over. So number five, before she checks her phone, and now she's got her cup of coffee, she sits down and she writes down her 3 musts.
I like that.
These are the things that I must do today and why they're important. So for example, I'm trying to think, I must prepare for the show. This would be a perfect example, and make sure that all my material is laid out on PowerPoint for, whatever. So for her, the reason that she writes out, I'm doing this and this is why, is because the way she operates, and I think this is notorious of real estate people, we are visual people. So we must see it written down.
Yes.
We can't just put it on our head and make a move. We have to visually see what those musts are. So she writes it down. And you'll like this because this reminded me of you. She uses a planner. She said because when you use your phone, it's not visible in an electronic calendar. And so
true.
you can't see it.
Yeah.
And I've seen you.
So you forget.
You're constantly going through your planner.
Yeah.
I see you doing it. So she uses a planner because it's not visible in the electronic planner. So again, that's where she's putting her musts, right?
I like it.
And then number 6 is she planned her day. I planned my day 30 minutes before 7:30, and I couldn't understand what that meant. But she says this, and this is where it ties back to Sonia. She says the most critical part of all my success is planning my day during that 30 minutes before 7:30. So from 7 to 7:30 every day, she's planning exactly what things she needs to get done that day. So if I'm going to call 10 clients, if I'm going to direct message 10 on Instagram, if I'm going to show a property here, or if I'm going to do that, she lays out her whole plan. And hey, every book we've read, every book that we've gone over, whether it was the leadership rules, whether it was Eat That Frog, whether it's this book, has all said in the morning or the night before, plan out your day. And that way you will run the day and the day will not run you.
Yeah.
So that's the most critical part of her success. She said of all this, that's the most important.
I think so, and that's when it's silent. The world is silent.
The world is silent. At 7 o'clock, nobody's busting you up.
Right.
I mean, the first text we get is about 8 o'clock reminding you of Motivation Monday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then it's true. And then it's over. You know what I mean? So and then it says once you're in the office, if you've not laid it out, like you don't have your plan of what you're going to get done that day, basically she says your day is done. You've lost your day. If you do not walk into the office with a plan, your day is done.
That's good.
Because again, we're just reactive, not proactive, like we talked about. And the first 2 or 3 hours of when you get in is when you should be accomplishing those musts and that plan, because that's when your brain is the most fired up and the best time for you to advance your personal and professional goals. So I thought that was a big one.
I agree. That's huge. I love it.
So does anybody have any comments on any of that stuff, by the way? I mean, is there anybody on here that is actually planning out their day in an organized fashion that's tied into the goals that they're... Duffy, share it.
Yeah, since I started back coaching with Sonia, I am working back from my Franklin Day Planner. I do most nights, I'm not perfect at it, but most nights I get my planning done in advance so that by the next morning I know exactly what I'm doing. And it has revolutionized my life. It has been the best thing, not only back to coaching with Sonia, but actually taking the time and effort to plan out my day. And I do the same prioritization. I start with my A's, those things that have to get done today.
Nice.
And then before I spawn anywhere else, then I prioritize those 1, 2, 3, however many. Then I go to B's, and B's are those things that I'd like to get done today, but it isn't going to kill me if I don't. And then I prioritize those. And my C's are, hey, if I get to it today, not a big deal, but just so I don't forget and it falls through the cracks, got to make sure to write it down.
I like it.
And then de-delegate.
Right. The kicker with that too is, and I don't know if you found this, interesting, Mike, but for me, this is one of the things that I really cracked myself up about, and I've been laughing about this basically since I started doing my to-do lists.
Okay.
in the time that I write down those to-do lists, I could have done 2 or 3 of those items. I swear to God, I'm like, okay, you got to make sure that you give Margaret a call,
Yeah.
some point today, where I could have just called her. Hey, Margaret, I just wanted to let you know this is in, that's in, da-da-da-da-da.
That's so
Okay, great.
true.
But I, so many times, Mike, in my life have realized that the length that it told me to do something, I could have done. Oh, you got to send that email. Make sure that you send that email out in my to-do list out to that person, da-da-da-da-da. I mean, it's almost comical, but.
But if I could say, by doing that, you're building the habit. And
Correct.
that's why it's important.
Correct.
Is to get in the habit of controlling your day, controlling your priorities, and making sure. And here's the other fun part, is that check mark.
Yes.
That's so satisfying to say, heck yeah, I got that done.
Boy, you're not kidding. He is not kidding.
No, that's the
that
biggest
is a good
one.
feeling.
I think that's why I do lists.
Or yes, sometimes you'll put together a giant list and you look at, and it might be 4 or 5 days later, and you're like, oh my God, I did that. I'm so proud of myself.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know what you mean, Mike. So that's good. She doesn't really say to prioritize, but like I know when I do my coaching calls with Sonia, we'll build a list of things, and then once those lists is done, then I go back and I prioritize them, and then I'll send it to her prioritized. And then that reminds me of making sure that I'm doing those big picture items first. Like whether it's preparing for the show, or whether it's making those calls, or setting up the next event, or dialing in the productivity schools, or whatever it may be. So if you're focusing on 2 of those things on your 30-minute list that you made, you're winning the long game. And it just all begins with jump-starting your morning. And what did we call that? The activation, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's really, really the key is today. And then I thought this was a big one, and this actually, we're gonna get out of here a little bit early, but number 7 is a big one.
Okay.
I plan my quitting time.
Oh.
You know what time you are going to leave based on what is best for you, your family, your relationships, your person, whatever it may be, and she does not vary from that.
Yeah.
So, and she said that by knowing, for example, like I work out at 5:30 every day, so I leave at 5. It makes me leave at 5, but she was kind of hinting that by knowing what time you have to end, it forces you to get more done because you know the clock is ticking and you got to get that stuff done. So having a deadline for stopping and redirecting my life with intention, is basically the next big one. So, and work expands to whatever time you give it. So if you said, oh, I can stay as long as I want, you may never get it done, and next thing you know it's 4 o'clock and you're bailing out. So you have to give yourself that time to rest, to recharge and reset, and you'll get things done. So anyway, so that's where we're at. Does anybody have anything that they would like to add today? And we're almost done with this book, and we're moving on to some really cool stuff. But the next couple of chapters are legit.
Oh, good. This is valuable, though. It really is. Even if I don't agree with it, I'm sure there's.
Make my bed? No.
But I'm going to talk to
Even
Jessica and Brenda, and we're going to see if that's something we want to see, how we feel if we do it.
All right.
And if anybody else wants to jump on, text me.
Well, it was kind of suggesting, you could always post a picture of your bed made for 10 days and just see how it feels.
No.
All right, okay.
Boy, how
I'll post
confused
anything
would
else.
your friends be?
I know.
Like, why is Jenny posting pictures of her bed?
Bed.
Oh, that's a good
She's
point.
Gross.
Oh, whatever. All right, so any other final? Yes, please, Sonia.
Yeah, I was just going to add, I've been taking this class online through Duke University about happiness. And they have a whole section on social media. And the bottom line is social media actually robs you of your happiness. It doesn't fulfill it. And I thought it was interesting. One of the major psychologists that was on this, he says he's pretty well turned off his phone. And he checks it every once in a while, but he's turned it off so that he can focus on where he's going, focus on his life and his happiness instead of living in the social media world. And it wasn't very supportive to bringing you happiness, all the social media that we're involved in.
The problem, Sonia, is being in our role and with COVID.
Yes.
And realizing that striking up conversations based on people's posts or stories or whatever is so important, right now, because it's the only way we can reach out. And that, obviously that's ending. I mean, they just announced all the concert dates and everything yesterday, and all the football games and all that stuff. But so that's ending. But I do think we've almost been forced into that. And I wonder if it's created, like you said, and cast a depression net over everybody a little bit.
Sure.
You know what I mean? I mean, it makes sense. Just hiding from that stuff is rough.
And what they're basically saying is control it. don't surf the media, don't surf the social media all day long from morning until you go to bed, first thing in the morning, last thing at night. Be more on purpose when you're doing it, especially because we do it more for work,
Right.
or a lot of us do. And
Right.
so have your scheduled time and make that happen.
Agreed.
And then the other comment you made about, well, it'd be easier just to pick up the phone and call Margaret. The challenge with that is then you're not staying focused on what you're going to complete the day. If you call Margaret, you're going to take off and go in another direction. But if you continue making your list, then call Margaret, you've got your list in front of you and you're going to stick to it.
That makes sense.
Just
That absolutely makes sense. So
you're doing it right.
Yeah. Anything you want to add though before we head out of here? Because I want to end with one thing.
No, I just love that I saw Brian clap. So many people agree about the social media. It goes back to comparison is a thief of joy.
Yeah.
100%.
I would agree. But I do want to end with this one quote.
But we also have to do.
Let's do it. And then one with quotes. So by the way, thank you guys. I'm gonna do the Adam. Michael and I thank you very much for sharing this show.
Hey, don't take my job,
sorry,
right?
sorry.
I'm union. Okay?
Go ahead. Go
So
ahead.
I want to thank everyone who has been sharing these posts. You guys are amazing, and it really helps Michael and I stay employed. So thank you for guys for doing that. If you guys see it up on your timeline, please just hit that share button. It helps us out a lot, and we love you for it.
And speaking of that, how many are we picking? 2? Is that what it was?
No, we have. There's a lot in here.
Okay, cool. So these are the people that shared the show.
I want to remind them though, you guys, some people who shared were on private. If you're on private, you're not really sharing it.
I mean, that's okay. It's just about sharing this knowledge with your friends and how comfortable you are with it.
But I guess we can't see something about.
Oh, yeah. Well, then you don't get a gift card, but.
Oh, is that what
All
it
right,
is?
you ready?
But we still appreciate
But we
you.
still
So
appreciate
these are
appreciate
$25 winners right here
Yeah.
for Amazon. All right, who do we got?
Yeah.
First up, thank you guys for sharing.
First up, Gabby.
Gabby Tapote.
Yeah.
I see you got to be online to get it. Is she online? Oh, she's
I
clapping.
think she's
Hi,
there
Gabby.
today.
I think we said we're giving out 3. I think is what
Okay,
we
cool.
said.
Let's do it. And
Yeah.
number 2.
Number 2 is Philip Martinez, CB Coastal Alliance.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, cool. Is Philip on? Hopefully he
I don't
is.
know if he's.
All right, cool.
We got. Yeah, you got to be on.
And last but not least,
Kelly Kyles.
nice.
All right.
Well, thank you guys very much for sharing. But I do
Thanks, guys.
want to end with this quote before we check out. Please, and I'm talking to myself. Half the time I'm talking to myself on this shit. All right. So number 1, either you run the day or the day runs you. Be organized. Have a plan.
Okay.
Because I'm guilty. Either you run the day or the day runs you guys. So anyways, we're checking out. Right?
We're going to run the day.
All right, we're going to go
I'm
run the day.
listening.
All right. So anyways, guys, thank you for tuning in, and we will see you soon. Thanks, Jenny.
Thank you. Bye,
All right,
guys.
Bye-bye.